Power Book 2 Ghost may be a story which is centered around Tariq St Patrick, but a close second comes to Tejada's, more so Kane because of just how he's turned into a fan favourite. His evolution kind of speaks for itself, which I went through a lot in detail in this breakdown. I broke down how he turned from a character who was quite impulsive, reckless, made decisions that only benefited himself, to being family first and putting others above himself, which even extended to Effie. But I will leave the link to that video down below in the description and comment section, which was more of a character analysis, whereas in this breakdown, we're going to be looking at Kane's storyline in Season 4, him working closer under Noma, how Season 4 might be the breadcrumbs for a London-based spin-off, the betrayal from Drew and Diana, his relationship with Effie along with a theory or two that we haven't been through before. We're also going to take a look at this cage fight and him potentially coming face to face with 2-Bit, because this was something that Woody McLean posted on social media. Kane vs 2-Bit is something we might be seeing, or he might just be throwing us off as they normally sometimes do. So that's the agenda in today's breakdown, as we dissect all the new details around Kane's role in Power Book 2 Ghost Season 4. Now, when it comes to Kane's character, he did have a huge question mark going into Season 4. The question that people were kind of asking was, did he survive at the end of Season 3? Because when Brayden came in, he did hit Kane. It was kind of hard to tell what damage was done in the darkness, and it was kind of hard to tell how many times Brayden caught him, but he definitely did. Woody McLean then came out and gave a couple of interviews, where he said he was getting a little emotional talking about his portrayal of Cane Tejada, which kind of played on him being hit, and some actually thought, you know what, he might actually be gone. But I kind of shut that down straight away, because if you actually follow him on social media, he does tend to play with fans' emotions, and you could see him shoot him back pretty much straight away after Brayden supposedly caught him. But besides those 2 points, Kane is going to be a very important character in Ghost, which is definitely going to continue into Season 4. Now, besides people questioning his fate, he managed to stay clear of law enforcement, got back on good terms with Monet, even after it was confirmed she had Lorenzo killed. He fired warning shots to the Western families that debt needed to be paid. His relationship with Effie was kind of non-existent, because it did seem like she wasn't interested. That was even after he came in dressed in a suit and tie. He was also going after Tariq St Patrick, because he was led to believe by Drew and Diana Tariq was the one who hit Monet in the drive-by, and this is going to be one of the major plot points that does surround Kane in Season 4, along with him working a lot closer to Noma. So let's just take a deeper look at the new details specifically for Cane Tejada. After last season's betrayal, Diana and Drew questioned their roles in the game and the family business. Meanwhile, Kane will see an opportunity to level up when he starts working for Noma. There's also a bit which says Noma's going to have a fight on her hands to establish her business in the States. So those are the key parts we're going to focus on. We're going to look at Kane leveling up under Noma, her fight to stay in the States, the betrayal that he's going to have to deal with Drew and Diana, along with Effie and 2-Bit. But first things first, how is Kane exactly going to level up?
He does that, he no longer needs me. Now why the fuck would I play myself like that?
Look who's finally learning from me.
Me and my fucking instincts are to always lead and protect. Everybody knows that.
Across Season 2 and 3, 2 characters who have helped Kane grow and develop were Lorenzo and Mecca. Under Lorenzo, he learned how to take care of his family, put them first and just be more family focused rather than look at what benefited himself. Under Mecca, he learned how to be a lot more strategic, think outside the box, how to manipulate situations, target a person's weakness, prepare for war and take advantage of opportunities or even create them. And that's what I think could potentially happen for Kane at the beginning of Season 4. At this moment in time, we know Obi is Noma's right-hand man, who oversees her operation in New York. But let's not forget, they've never really been on the same page. She didn't take too kindly to him not telling her the truth around law enforcement, sniffing around her operation in New York, and she definitely won't take too kindly to his betrayal, because he was the one who gave Brayden the heads up that Tariq was about to get clipped at the warehouse. Now going into Season 4, I wouldn't even be surprised if Obi went one step further by giving Tariq the new details of where he can find Anya Covington, Noma's daughter. I do think Anya will be one of Tariq and Brayden's main targets, as a way to kind of hurt Noma or target one of her weaknesses. And I think Obi might help Tariq for a few reasons. Targeting loved ones as a weakness is a strategy that was used by Obi before. Secondly, I don't think he'll be on board with working with Kane, the Tejadas and Effie, because he was never fond of them in the first place, and honestly speaking, I don't see that lasting too long anyway, because Tariq is the brains. Everybody did play their roles in the operation or various missions, but when shit gets real, it's like they all kind of turn to Tariq, because very much Ghost-like, he's always saying, I've got this under control, so they always look to him to come up with a plan.
So you need to figure some shit out and figure it out fast. Well, you're supposed to be the smart one, right? What do you want me to do? I don't know. You always come up with a plan. You have something, right?
You're my thinker. Think.
So Obi working with Kane, I honestly can't see it being a long-term thing. But the final reason why I see Obi helping Tariq is because I don't think Obi needs Noma anymore. Maybe the only reason why he served her so loyally was because he thought maybe she was the only one who could help bring his family over from Nigeria. But with Tariq's resources, just have a look at how quick he managed to get that shit done. So it begs the question, why couldn't Noma? Was it because she didn't have the connections or resources, or was it just to kind of keep Obi in line? Now if he does help Tariq along with his betrayal, I think that will be the last and final straw for Noma. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was an early death in season 4. Maybe Noma even asks Kane to do it. Either way, it does seem like there might be an opening for Kane which he plans to take advantage of, because there will be an opportunity to level up when he starts working for Noma. So you can only assume by leveling up, Obi might have been taken care of, creating this new vacant position for Kane to run Noma's operation in New York, but it's not going to be easy. Noma will apparently have a fight on her hands to hold that position in the States. So does that mean she's going to come across a rival who's trying to step into the same territory? Maybe Mahoney? Could it be a battle with law enforcement? Or could she even be run out of town and back to London by the time season 4 comes to an end? You know, we're all wondering, what's the plan after Go season 4? Could it really be the London-based spin-off that's been rumoured for a while now? And could season 4 be the setup that takes power overseas? You do have to wonder. With Noma having issues in the States, she might have to get on one of those private jets and get out of New York, which could potentially mean a power spin-off across the ocean. So that is just a thought to keep in mind, because I am sure there will be something that comes after Power Book 2 Ghost, because the news around the cancellation, Power Origins, and Raising Kane in Season 5 definitely isn't the last. But over to the relationship with Drew and Diana, as well as the betrayal.
Drew, I need you to man the fuck up, okay? You're not gonna be an NBA housewife. And Diana, let's stop pretending you're some college sorority chick, all right? We're drug dealers. That's the family business. That's who we are.
Now this is one of the main differences between them. Kane accepts who they are and what they ever will be. They're drug dealers and they can't change that. And it is actually quite funny that the synopsis for season 4 does say Drew and Diana still want out the family business, because they made a choice at the end of season 3. That choice was to get rid of their mother in exchange for their freedom. But when that plan kind of backfired, they decided to get closer to Noma for protection, which puts them even deeper in the game. So them wanting out is nothing new, but it is quite ironic, and it is going to be harder than ever before, because Noma will be expecting her guns and product to be moved regardless of the circumstances, and it is a hell of a lot of product. They also have to do it without Tariq and Brayden. So let's see how Kane manages the situation, because you do have to assume Monet might be out of action for a while, or if she's not, after her near-death experience, I wouldn't be surprised if she wants out the game once again. Now with Drew and Diana, it isn't just about them wanting out the family operation, there's also the betrayal. Just wait until Kane finds out how they were the ones who tried to get rid of Monet. It's gonna hurt him. He's gonna be angry, upset it was his siblings, confused about what to do. He's gonna be feeling all sorts of emotions, and I do think Kane might be one of the first to find out, because it really would kind of put him in a difficult place. It puts him between his mother and his siblings. It's gonna make him realize that Tariq wasn't the one who went behind their back, it was his own family. So this betrayal is gonna be the center of what I would call the flip of the script, in terms of relationships being broken, and different alliances being formed. Maybe it's one of the secrets that they reveal maybe around the episode 5 mark, to kind of mark the end of part 1. You know, normally when we do get to episode 5 in Ghost, they do tend to turn the tables upside down. And this plot could be one of the main reasons chess pieces start to move in directions we don't actually expect, so that's just one to keep an eye on.
Okay, now this can work out for both of us if you just listen.
There's no us, Kane. And I'm not playing anything. Get the fuck out of here. Our real lawyer will be here in a minute.
Now what about his relationship with Effie? I do think them working under Noma together, they might be getting a little closer again. Alex Lepre even went on to record to say maybe her and Kane were a better fit than her and Tariq. So I wouldn't be surprised if she opened up to Kane at some point and told him about what happened with her in the past, with her being sexually abused. And so this is where I do want to bring it back to something we saw play out in Power. You guys have heard me recently say how Power is based on patterns of play, and where history does kind of tend to repeat itself. So having said that, an experience which we learned about back in Power, which was very similar to that of Effie's, was Holly Weaver. It was said that she was sexually abused when she was only 9 years old by her uncle. After Holly was taken off the chessboard, we then saw Tommy beat him to death with a baseball bat, very Negan-like. Now bringing it back to Power Book 2 Ghost, we know something similar has happened with Effie. It has also been teased that Effie's mother might be making an appearance in season 4, and if she does, I wouldn't be surprised if we see this being a side plot, and who knows, Maybe if she opens up to Kane about what she went through in the past, we see Kane doing something very similar to what Tommy did, taking care of the guy that did the exact same thing to Effie. So that's just a thought and a theory around this relationship with Effie, because we do tend to see patterns of play and power repeat itself. But over to Kane potentially being in a fight with 2-Bit along with his cage fight. Now we do actually see Kane in a fight in the teaser for season 4. He's in a cage fight, although the one taking the beating definitely isn't 2-Bit. So we are just gonna have to kind of wait and see how and why Kane ended up in a cage fight. Is it a test of loyalty to kind of prove himself to Noma, just like he had to do with Mecca? You know, we might hear Noma tell Kane, okay, I'll give you a chance, but only if you prove to me you have what it takes to run my operation in New York. Could it be an underground cage fight with an enemy or someone who was fucking with Noma's operation? Either way, we know Kane can hold it down because this is what he was built for. He was nurtured to be the muscle of the Tejada organization and be feared in the streets, which I think he will continue. Although having said that, would he strike fear into 2-Bit? Now 2-Bit versus Kane is something that is being teased, or is Woody McClain just playing with the power fans, which does go back to my point before. He is known to throw us off from time to time, so I would take this with a grain of salt. You know, we might see them in a fight, I'm not saying we won't, or we may even see them in an alliance, or it may even just be a quick meeting between the two. Because after I looked at this teaser scene again, I do wonder if this is Kane's Range Rover. We all know this is Tariq's Porsche that 2-Bit stole, so we can only assume that 2-Bit's rolling into Harlem, but it's not exactly clear who is here to meet, so I do wonder if this could actually be Kane. Either way, I do think we are going to see them coming face to face, whether it's them butting heads, working together, or just forming an alliance for the greater good. I definitely believe we will see that meeting between them. Now last but not least, with it being the last and final chapter of Power Book 2 Ghost, how are they going to end Kane's storyline? This is where I'm kind of torn. The cast and crew said that they had no idea that this was the final chapter, and that just makes me think that they filmed a regular season, which will no doubt have its ups and downs, twists and turns with a major death or two. But if they didn't know it was a final season, then it makes me believe that a lot of these character storylines are going to be left open, and it really is crazy to think we may never get the answers about what happens in the future for Kane's character. Before learning it was the final chapter, I would have said he was a character who would have probably survived, with Drew or Diana being the next Tejada on the chopping block. But who knows, if they knew it was a final season, then maybe there's a bloodbath. Or maybe Kane's kept around for the next chapter with whatever they have planned after Power Book 2 Ghost. At this moment in time, it's just all speculation until we see the trailer, until we get a few more interviews, and until we get going with Season 4. Only then will we be able to say, yeah, this is the direction that they're going in. Yeah, it looks like this character could be going to London. Or it seems like they're creating another spin-off in the same timeline in New York. Or maybe there's even a crossover to Force to join Tommy in Chicago. Let's wait and see when it comes to Kane's character. But that's where we are in terms of the new details, him working closer to Noma, the betrayal from Drew and Diana, and a potential conflict with 2-Bit along with a theory or two with Effie. So as usual, the floor is now yours. Drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section and let me know how you see Kane's story playing out, and how do you reckon they'll finish Kane's storyline with it being the last and final chapter? Is it a storyline that they'll close, or is it something that will be left open-ended? Drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section, and as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.